With Catherine beside him, will, I know, continue to inspire and lead our national conversations.
Darling, hold on to your teacup, because what's coming next out of Buckingham Palace has every royal watcher absolutely breathless. The whisper that started as a quiet rumour behind closed palace doors is now echoing across the entire United Kingdom. Could it really be true? Is King Charles preparing to step down and hand the crown, yes, the crown itself, to Prince William far sooner than anyone ever imagined? For decades, we've watched Charles fight for his rightful place as king. After all those years waiting in the wings, could he really be ready to let go so soon? Or is there something deeper happening behind those royal gates that the world doesn't yet know? According to those closest to the palace, the king has been quietly crafting a plan, not for years, but for a decade-long transition. At 75, Charles reportedly set himself a private deadline. 10 years. 10 years to fulfill his duties, leave his legacy, and then step aside. Some say this plan isn't just about age, it's about the king wanting to leave on his own terms, gracefully, before time or illness make the choice for him. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Insiders whisper that this isn't just a spontaneous decision. It's a carefully designed partnership between Charles and Queen Camilla. Together, they've been orchestrating a smooth handover to William, ensuring that when the moment comes, there will be no confusion, no chaos, just continuity. Now, let's pause for a moment. My dear, doesn't that sound unlike anything we've seen before from the British throne? Queen Elizabeth, God rest her soul, held her crown until her very last breath. Duty above all. She believed the monarch never steps down. But Charles is different. He's watching as other European monarchs, from Spain to the Netherlands, gracefully pass the torch to younger heirs. Could he be planning to follow their example? Paul Burrell, yes, Diana's former butler, the man who saw more than most ever will, has hinted that Charles's abdication is imminent. That word alone, imminent, sent shivers across the nation. But why now? Why not later? Insiders suggest that Charles doesn't want to be remembered as the monarch who clung to power, but rather the one who prepared his son for a new era. He wants William to have the time to truly make his mark, to lead not as a shadow of his father, but as a king who represents the modern world. And let's be honest, the times have changed. The crown isn't what it was 50 years ago. The people crave connection, transparency, and humility. And if there's anyone who embodies that quiet strength and empathy, it's William, with Kate right beside him, steady as ever. But here's the twist that has left royal fans torn in two. Sources say the king's health has played a larger role than anyone first believed. Since his cancer diagnosis, there's been a quiet urgency in the air. You can feel it. Even Camilla, we're told, has been encouraging him to let go, to enjoy the twilight years of his life with peace, rather than pressure. Doesn't that sound bittersweet? After everything Charles endured to reach the throne, to now hear whispers of stepping away? It's almost poetic, isn't it? But maybe, just maybe, that's what makes it noble. Imagine this, a king choosing to walk away while still strong enough to do so on his own terms. That takes courage. And let's not forget the strain on the younger royals. Kate Middleton's own health struggles earlier this year, her surgery, and the immense pressure on her as future queen, it's a lot. And with Harry still distant, the working royals are stretched thin. Could this be the moment Charles realizes it's time to hand over the reins, before the burden becomes too heavy for everyone involved? Tell me, loves, if you were in his shoes, would you step aside now and watch your son lead the world into a new era? Or would you, like his mother, hold that crown until your final day? One thing's for certain, what's unfolding isn't just another royal rumor. It's a shift that could redefine the monarchy for generations to come. And as this secret plan begins to surface, the question remains, when the day finally comes, how will Britain react? Will the people welcome William with open arms, or will they see Charles's decision as weakness rather than wisdom? Oh, it's just getting started, and trust me, the next part will leave you speechless. White right pointing backhand index, stay with me, darling, because we're diving deeper into the emotional storm behind the palace walls, the private talks, the Queen's quiet persuasion, and the moment Charles may finally say, it's time. Now, my dear, let's step back inside those palace walls, shall we? Because behind the glittering smiles, the waving crowds, and those perfectly choreographed public appearances, there's a private struggle that few truly see. They say Queen Camilla has become the king's most trusted confidant, and lately, her whispers have carried the weight of destiny itself. You've done enough, Charles, she's reportedly told him. It's time to rest. It's time to live. Just imagine that moment. After a lifetime spent waiting to be king, a lifetime shadowed by scandal, heartbreak, and duty, hearing the woman by his side gently say, it's time. How do you even begin to let go of a crown that you waited 70 years to wear? According to palace insiders, Camilla's words have slowly started to sink in. They say the king spends more time in reflection these days, more walks in the gardens at Highgrove, fewer official meetings, longer evenings away from the cameras. Perhaps he's already preparing, not just William, but himself for that day when he'll no longer be the one standing at the balcony. And let's be honest, my loves, wouldn't you do the same? After years of carrying the weight of the world's gaze, wouldn't you long for peace, for privacy, for mornings without duty pressing down like a crown made of stone? But this isn't just about Charles, this is about William and Kate stepping into the light. Those close to the family say the couple has already begun taking on more senior roles, attending key events in place of the king. Every step, every handshake, every quiet smile, it's part of the careful choreography of transition. And here's what's truly fascinating. If this transition does happen, it could usher in a very different monarchy. One that's younger, more relatable, and far less grand in its presentation. Reports suggest William and Kate envision a more humble coronation, focused on faith and community rather than gold and glitter. Imagine that, a crown of simplicity after centuries of spectacle. Doesn't that sound refreshing, darling? But not everyone inside the palace feels at ease with this shift. Some royal insiders fear that Charles stepping down too early could make the monarchy appear unstable, as though tradition is giving way to modern impatience. Others quietly wonder whether the public is truly ready to embrace a new king so soon. And yet, perhaps this is exactly the kind of renewal Britain needs. After years of tension, health scares, and endless headlines, a calm, steady transition might be the only way to keep the royal legacy alive. Still, there's something heartbreakingly human about all of this. Imagine Charles, the boy who watched his mother reign for 70 years, now facing the moment where he must decide whether to follow her path or forge his own. His mother's shadow looms large, her memory unshakable. For him to do things differently, it's both brave and terrifying. Paul Burrell once said, Charles has always wanted to modernize the monarchy. And perhaps this quiet abdication, done with grace rather than grief, will be his lasting legacy. Not grandeur, not controversy, but the humility to say, my time has come. And let's not forget, the public loves William and Kate. Their bond, their family life, their warmth, it's everything the world wants to see in the next era of royalty. If Charles steps down, it won't be seen as surrender, it will be seen as a father's final gift to his son. Now here's where the emotional truth really lands, darling. Queen Camilla, sources say, is torn. She knows that stepping back means stepping out of history's spotlight forever. But she also knows Charles deserves peace. He's given his life to this, one insider shared. Now it's time for him to live it. Can't you just picture that? The two of them, side by side in the countryside, away from the constant flash of cameras, finally able to breathe, no longer monarch and consort, but simply husband and wife. But for all the peace that might bring, the decision won't be easy. There are rumors of secret meetings with advisors, private talks about timing, and endless debates about how the public announcement should be made. After all, once the words King Charles steps down are spoken, there's no going back. And so, the entire nation waits, the cameras, the press, and the people, for that one day when Buckingham Palace's gates open and the world learns the truth. Will it be soon? Will the king surprise us all with a graceful farewell? Or will he hold on a little longer, one hand on the crown and the other on his legacy? Tell me, darling, what do you think? Should King Charles hold his position until the end, like his mother did? Or is it time to pass the torch to William and let the monarchy begin anew? Because one thing is certain, the moment Charles takes that step, history will shift forever. A new era will begin. And as always, we'll be right here watching every twist, every whisper, and every royal revelation, together. White right pointing backhand index, so don't forget to subscribe to New Things, Loves, and tap that bell, because the day the crown changes hands, you'll want to be the first to know.